let's start with the Oxford movement. Like all other religions, this Christianity is also divided into two categories. One is Catholics.
Sir, Anglican and Catholic.
Catholic and Protestant.
Catholics and Protestants. So, when the Roman people during the year 450 AD 450, when they left England, they have left their missionaries behind, so that those missionaries could spread Christian religion in England. So till the time of Elizabethan, Catholicism was the main religion. And missionaries have got a very success in spreading their religion throughout the country. But during the Elizabethan period, the people of England thought of modifying the religion, Catholic religion, where they introduced very simple rules, very simple regulations. So some of the doctrines, some of the principles that were there in Catholic churches, they were neglected, and a new type of Christianity was found, that was Protestant, which was more liberal than the Catholic religion. Gradually, they kept amending their principles and ideologies. Their main focus was to make the religion very simple so that it can be adaptable to each and every human being of the country. But in spite of that, the ups and downs of Catholics and the Protestants was always there. Reason being, whoever was the monarch, if the monarch was a Catholic, Catholic was on the bounce. When the monarch changed to the Protestants, Protestants were on the bounce. So that means there were ups and downs in these two religions, Catholics and Protestants. Now, we saw that during the Victorian age, there was an industrial revolution. And this was the time when colonialism of Britain was on its apex. They have started colonizing almost 292 countries of the world. Sorry, 192 countries of the world. So this was the time when people started moving from materialism. They started moving from moralism, moral values. They started degrading and they started moving towards materialism because of the industrial revolution. So the moral values started degrading. People were not having the time to go into the churches. Most of them, they are busy in their factories because of the industrial revolution. So the condition of these Protestant churches or Anglican church, this is also known as Anglican church. So the condition of the Anglican church started going down. The attendance of the churches suddenly started deteriorating. People's belief in the churches, in the religion, started degrading. The main reasons was, one is colonialism, where the people of England were sent to various colonies. Many Britishers came to India. They went to America. Some went to France. So the people were scattered and they were not focused on their religion. People became materialistic now. Their main focus was money, earn more and more money. So the moral degradation started during this age. So some of the scholars from the Oxford University, they tried to investigate the reason that why Catholic churches, those who are still belong to Catholic churches, they have a very good moral value. They are still connected to the churches, but the Protestants, the problem are only with the Protestants. Why? Their moral value is degrading. Why? They are only running behind materialistic things. Why? They are only running behind money. So during investigation, they found that the ideology or the doctrines that are there in the Protestant church are not capable of drawing the attention of the people. So the problem was there with the doctrine. That means there has to be some reform to be carried out so that people now should be attracted towards the churches, Protestant churches. Then they analyzed and studied the doctrines of Catholic churches, and they compared those doctrines with the Protestant churches. And they found that Catholic churches' doctrines are more powerful to attract the people and keep their moral values on the track. So now it was the time for taking those doctrines, copying those doctrines from Catholic Church and implement the same doctrines into the Protestant Church. So there were two reasons for this Oxford movement. One was that the doctrines of the Protestants were not capable of sustaining its value. The second thing was the evolution of industrialism. Third was colonialism. So these were the various reasons gathered together to draw the attention of this movement. So in the year 1833, where few of the scholars from the Oxford University thought of bringing some revolution, and these were the scholars who have studied both the doctrines of both the religions, Catholic as well as Protestants. The chief proponent was John Henry Newman. And his friend was John Cable. And there was another scholar, Edward Pusey. So these three friends were the main proponents who started studying about these both doctrines of Catholicism and Protestant. And then they thought of bringing a movement so that all the people of England must understand that their moral degradation is on verge. They need to reform themselves. So that was only possible through a movement so that it can spread throughout the country. This movement was not restricted to only a particular part of England. Rather, their plan was to spread throughout the country so that there can be a revival. There can be a revival of the Protestant churches. Okay, so in the year 1833, John Henry Newman gave the first lecture on the revival of Protestants in the Oxford University, 1833. And that lecture was that much impressive that so many scholars got connected with him in the same year. And they realized that now they need to write pamphlets, articles, so that it can be read by the maximum people, so that their idea can be spread throughout the country. So in the 1833, they started writing articles, and they said that my articles will be known as tracts. Rather than calling them articles, it will be known as tracts. That is the reason they are also known as tractors. All the followers of the Oxford movements are known as tractors, and their pamphlets are known as tracts for the time.
Sir, so the Tractarian movement is the same? Like the question are asked related to the question?
Yeah, okay. Tractarian movement and Oxford movement both are same.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so they said that they will call their articles and pamphlets tracts, and the articles will be published as tracts for the time. So these tracts for the time, they started publishing in the newspapers under the heading tracts for the time, and they became very popular. So during the year 1833 to 1841, for these 7 years, they got themselves popularized. Their idea was quite accepted in the society, and the people started changing themselves. When their ideas was accepted, so those doctrines from the Catholic churches were also copied and implemented in the Protestant churches, and a new kind of religion was formed. That is known as Anglo-Protestant. So this new kind of religion was there. Anglo means it has been copied from the Catholicism, Catholics, and Protestant was already there. So that was the reason it was known as Anglo-Protestant. So I hope you have got the basic idea that this Tractarian movement or Oxford movement was a religious movement. But you may ask a question that why we are studying religious movement in literature? It is not a literary movement, but yes, it is regarded as a literary movement because this movement has a great impact on the writing of the poets and the novelists. Because this was the time 1833 to 1841. This was just the beginning of the Victorian age. So the entire Victorian poets were completely influenced by this movement. And just yesterday in yesterday's class, when we were talking about Gerard Manley Hopkins, there we saw that how much devoted he was towards the religion, towards the Christianity. And all his poetry was following this type of religious things. So that was the reason we are reading this Oxford movement, a religious movement, as a literary movement. Who are associated with them? One was John Henry Newman, John Cable, John Henry Newman. These two were the initial propounders. John Henry Newman was the first one who gave the first lecture in the Oxford University in 1833. Thereafter, John Cable joined him the second, and the third one, Edward Pusey. So Edward Pusey, Richard Hurrell Froude, Frederick Faber, Isaac Williams, Charles Marriott, Bernard Dolagrins, and William Ward. So these were the main proponents from the Oxford University who contributed their articles and pamphlets in the Tract for the Time.